Well, I'm talking with John Knight from the Children's Centre as the news breaks today that you're leaving, and obviously the conspiracy theorists will be out there straight away saying you're just jumping ship at this difficult time.
Yeah, well, I guess the timing isn't perfect, but from my point of view, it's been a period of well, probably more than 12 months that my interests, if you like, have been that finding a job somewhere else would be good for myself and my family. I suppose people who are close to us would know that my wife had a business in Ramsey. You know, we wound that up in November last year. And yeah, I've been backwards and forwards to the UK, had a few interviews. Some have gone well and I've said no, and some didn't go so well. But this opportunity's come along, and I actually accepted it in November last year.
And the job is?
It's as Chief Executive with a charity in the care sector in the UK.
You can't say what yet?
No, they're contractual, if you like, confidentiality, as they've got to speak to their staff. And the volunteers and so on, and then it would be more public.
Now, no smoke without fire. Obviously, there's been a lot of pressure on you. There's been cutbacks, changes. Has this affected your decision then to go?
No, I think, you know, it's been 14 years at the Children's Centre, and it's been absolutely fantastic. But well, I actually bumped into one of the trustees who's retired some time ago at the hospice chocolate ball and back in the summer, and he said to me, I can't believe you're still there after 14 years. And it's those sorts of messages, I think, when you get them over a period of time, that you do start to think, well, am I doing the organisation a favour by being there? Am I doing myself, you know, my career a favour? So for me, genuinely, it's a very natural process of, you know, what comes next.
What about the situation? What can you say about this current, the way the process went? Can you talk about this at all now? Because I know you have been indicating you weren't happy with the process. Are you just going to be walking away from that, for instance, as well, leaving it to somebody else to pick up now?
I think, again, in the timing of all of this, that comes to a head this week. The Minister is meeting, as I understand, with members of Tynwald on Friday, and I think it's his intention to sign the contract. I think from the Children's Centre's point of view, we've been endeavoured to be very clear. We're hugely disappointed with the outcome of the procurement process, but from the start, we flagged up our concerns about the conflict of interest and the transparency, and you know, it is frustrating to have asked 4 or 5 fairly straightforward questions and to receive no answers whatsoever. So we remain A, very disappointed, but B, frustrated that I don't feel we've had answers to very simple questions.
But it was a tender process, and therefore you obviously were not the one chosen because of whatever circumstances there, the cost and what you're offering. You accept that your tender wasn't competitive?
No, I don't. I think it's the process that was flawed and the conflict of interest. So yes, it was a tender process, but I actually think that from the start that process was flawed by the conflict of interest we've demonstrated and the spread of the influence of that individual across the process.
Do you see there being a change of heart though, or do you think the Minister is now set to continue and see this through?
Well, what I see and what I hope there is a change of heart. What I see at the moment is a fairly, I suppose, an increasingly entrenched point of view that this is what I think, and I'm convinced this is what I'm right. I mean, I do know that friends of the Children's Centre, I guess, or maybe friends of a fair process will be challenging that to the last minute. But I think from the organisation's point of view, we've said what we need to say. We've said it very robustly, and you know, we're saying okay, we've stated our case.
Okay. And as we going back slightly on ourselves here, things haven't been good for some time with the way the process has gone. You've had cutbacks, haven't you, in the Children's Centre? You've seen things change after starting from quite a low base of people you've built up over the years, but that has hit its top, hasn't it? And it's on its slide, and you're getting out.
No, actually not. Well, I mean, I can address the getting out question, as I say, transparently, because if we'd have won every contract in the world, I'd still be saying, you know, in March I've got another job in the UK. That is genuinely removed from it. In terms of cutbacks, no, I wouldn't follow your view on that. We've grown as an organisation incrementally. 56 people when I came in 2000. over 170 plus the fostering community, which would be another 45 people.
But they were going to close some children's homes, weren't they?
Yeah, the reduction of children's homes across the island, both ourselves and St Christopher's,
so it would have affected you?
Has been a strategic direction. Yeah, and so, well, if we'd have won the residential contract, we would have maintained 5 children's homes. As it is, we haven't won the residential contract, or that would seem to be the case, and therefore those children's homes, St Christopher's will run 5 children's homes. So the total amount of children's homes has changed.
The people working for you, who some will be moving over, for instance, are you happy with that part of it, that they've ring-fenced certain jobs, for instance? For people watching this who work for you now, who will be moving, should they feel secure?
Well, we know that there are a number of jobs. It is not enough jobs to provide a transfer for everybody. We're just teasing out the clarity of whether it's a transfer of services or whether it's a piece of work that's come to an end and a brand new piece of work that's starting, and that has employment right implications. So we're endeavouring to get that absolutely clarified and right. I mean, yes, of course, what we want is the very, very best for the people who have worked for us in a very committed and very professional way. But that's still a lot in the mix. I saw that, I mean, there was a healthy press release from social care about 21 jobs. That's absolutely great, and we were part of that meeting. There's been some debate around the number of people affected, and as a fact, 61 people are affected, because 61 people are waking up every day at the moment saying, I'm not sure where I'll work and who I'll work for in February. Some of those people will not have a job, some people will have a job in another organisation, and some people may find another job within the children's centre through our charitable work or through our social enterprise work. But there are 61 people who are unsure what's going on.
And therefore, do you think the quality of care will go down, change?
I think the style of care, I mean, clearly different care providers work in different ways, and I think that's part of government's choice. With regards to quality of care, I mean, somebody said to me yesterday, the historic indicators are good predictors for the future, and the Children's Centre, through all our inspection reports, both independently and through government, with registration inspections, who are an independent part of the Manx government who look at children's homes, you know, we have, and in my 14 years, you know, I can say hand on heart, an outstanding record of fantastic inspections. So, yeah, what we would say is, this organisation has done an outstanding job for children on the Isle of Man, you know, a Manx organisation doing that.
Okay, I mean, you're going, you want to go, but are you worried what you will be leaving, your legacy behind, that hasn't been fulfilled now that, you know, these changes are coming about?
I think the organisation, and again, it is important for the public and people watching this to know that the charity has always stood in 3 distinct arms, if you like. That there's the government work, which, yes, is a major chunk of what the Children's Centre do. Nevertheless, we have a large amount of charitable work supported by the Manx public, and we have the nurseries, 5 nurseries, which generate an income which goes towards the charitable work. We've got some really exciting projects in the pipeline. So, you know, for another day, perhaps with another person, good to come and talk about. But yeah, there's, I mean, that's one of the challenges, that there is never, I believe, never a good time to leave the Children's Centre, because there's something always exciting.
Do you think you did everything you wanted to do, though?
Yeah, I do, actually. I do.
So it's time to go?
Yeah. Yeah, and I would have probably said that if I'd been offered the opportunity I wanted 12 months ago. This is. I mean, I heard on Manx radio this morning the immediate connection between controversy and resignation. I'm very clear, and my conscience is very settled, that this was a decision that was going to happen anyway, not really.